Hey everyone, it's Stranger and welcome to another YouTube music production video where my mission is to help you succeed in making music. So Black Friday is coming up and there's tons of sales happening, and some of you have reached out to me to ask me what plugins you should get. And I get it, there's tons of plugins out there, it's hard to decide. So Plugin Boutique reached out to me to inform you guys of all the sales that is happening on their site. So this is a partnership with Plugin Boutique, and I will be highlighting only sales happening on their site, but most of the big names are on there. So some of you might ask why you should buy from Plugin Boutique, but you can buy from the manufacturer directly. Well, Plugin Boutique has a system where you're rewarded points for the money that you spend with them. And these points could be used towards coupon codes, virtual cash, as well as redeeming sample and VST products. In addition, this week you can receive one of 4 different plugins with every transaction that you make with them. So I'm going to give you guys my top 5 buys on Plugin Boutique. And some of these are plugins that I've been using for a while now that you've seen in my videos. And the others are plugins that I've been wanting to get my hands on for a while now. So this is a good opportunity for you guys to grab those as well. But comment down below, let me know what other plugins you guys want to get on Black Friday. If you want to see more content from me, then make sure you hit the like, subscribe, and share button. And I appreciate your help. Alright, without further ado, let's get right into it. Alright, in no particular order, the first one is D16's The Virtuoso, and you've seen me use this one extensively. It's one of my favorite multi-band distortion units. It's really easy to use. There's tons of really good presets, and this could really bring certain sounds to life. So I love using this on bass sounds, and sometimes it also works on breaks. So here's an Amen loop dry. And then here it is with the Virtuoso. Now you can cycle through the different presets to find one that works best for you. So one of the things that I really enjoy using about the Virtuoso 2 is its bands. So it's split into 3 different bands, and these bands could be routed differently using the signal processing routing. So for example, you can feed all 3 through the distortion signal, or you can choose this one where you have filter bands 1 and 2 go into this distortion, and then the distortion feeds into filter 3 and so forth. So you have a lot of different routings, and this allows for some really creative uses of its multi-band distortion. And over here, these are the distortion shapes, and depending on the shape that you choose, the distortion will sound different. So each band you can choose the filter type. So there's low pass, band pass, high pass, and band reject. And then you can choose the cutoff frequency and resonance here. And this is the volume that you're pushing at. So you can find a frequency to really make that snare pop. Let's try it with one more frequency over here. And this time we'll use perhaps the high pass. So this is all being fed to the distortion curve. And then it's all being sent to filter 3. And filter 3 maybe could be a low pass. You can also try the different routings. This one sounds pretty good. So this one distorts the signal and then it's sent to each of the bands. So this makes a really nice result. I'm just gonna bring that resonance down to make it less poppy. So let's hear the before and after with some gain staging. So here's before. So it really brought that amen to life. Now Devaster really shines when you add it to some bass. So here's an 808 signal. And that's dry. So now let's turn on Devaster and we'll go through a couple of the presets. That one sounds great. Once again, before. So it applies a certain character to the sound to give it a little more life. All right, number 2, I'm going to say is output. Now that is a brand. However, I'm going to mention 2 plugins here. The first one, Thermal. You've seen me use this extensively. It's my newest favorite multi-band distortion unit. It is not just a distortion unit. There's effects chains to it. There's filters, flanges. So you can get some really creative bass sounds by feeding it through Thermal. Not to mention there's a great selection of presets. For those of you who are not sure of what they're doing yet, you can simply go and try a bunch of their plugins and you'll get some pretty wild results. So here's a bass sound I made recently for a track. Now that sounds pretty grimy already, but once I applied Thermal, it took it to another level. So you can get some pretty alien-like bass sounds by using Thermal. And that's thanks to its intelligent design of distortion and filter units in the system. Not to mention, Thermal has a wide selection of distortion shapes. So again, this gives you a lot of creativity and control with regards to how your distortion sounds. So you guys have seen me use this a lot for a while now, so this is a good opportunity for you guys to grab it. Alright, so the next one from Output, I've been wanting to get my hands on for a while now. I've been seeing it used a lot in recent YouTube videos, and it's Output's Portal. So this is a granular synth engine. Essentially, this could convert really basic sounds into something really complex by passing it through its granular synth engine. So here's a couple of notes I'm playing with Serum. And pretty standard. Now once I enable Portal, it just completely takes it to another level. Now, this one is new to me, so I'm still getting my head around the controls. But if we go through the different presets, you can see that it is pretty wide-ranging in the results you could get. So you can make things sound pretty epic just by applying this plugin on your sounds. Essentially, you can take something that sounds pretty dry and bring it to life. This is great for those who have more basic melodic skills. You can make your melodic pieces a lot more complex just by applying Portal. All right, number 3 is XLN's RC20. Now I've been seeing Andrew Huang use this for a while now. I've been wanting to get my hands on this. It's a really cool unit. What it does, it degrades your signal and makes it sound lo-fi, like it's coming off a vinyl record. It's really easy to use and you can get some nice results pretty much right away. So here's an electric piano clip that I wrote without the RC20. So now I'm going to apply RC20. all of a sudden my sound suddenly sounds more lifelike. It's come alive with all the degradation effects. So there's a vinyl noise here, so we can dial that in. The wobble emulates a floppy vinyl record, so you get those pitch flutterings. You can add saturation. You can also add digital degradation, so this is kind of like bit reduction. Its space allows you to add more atmosphere to it. I'm not sure what magnetic does. It sounds like it adds some flutter. It's a really cool plugin to make some sounds that otherwise would sound dead come alive. So here it is, dry again. Alright, number 4 is TDR Limiter 6GE, another one that I've been wanting to get my hands on for a while now. This one was recommended by my friend Schematic, who's a mastering engineer, and he really rates this as a limiter. As well, there is a built-in compressor and clipper, and the really key thing here is the clipper. So what it does is you can push a signal to manually clip a signal. Now, clipping is not always a bad thing. Sometimes you want intentional clipping, for example, on the drums to really make it smack. And this plugin could be used creatively on separate channels, or you can use it in your mastering chain to really bring the volume up. And this is a technique that mastering engineers use to make things louder, is to clip it a bit. So here I have some drums that are playing without the clipper. So now I'm going to enable TDR Limiter, and then I'm going to increase the drive on the clipper section. Notice how the drums really smack now. So there is a difference between clipping and limiting. You can kind of get that brick wall sound by clipping your sound, and you don't get that pumping effect that you would on a limiter. So in a way, you can say that the relative dynamics are preserved even though things are clipping. So this is a really powerful plugin. All right, number 5 is Isotope's Ozone 9 mastering suite. So I use this a lot for doing self masters. Now, quick note, their other tools are on sale as well, so you may want to check it out and see which ones would be more of value to you. I've also heard it may make more sense if you buy one of their bundles, so check that out as well. I like to use Ozone 9 when I want to do some self masters to send tunes out for DJs to play out. Now, mastering isn't my strength and definitely something I do want to improve on, but when I want to get a quick master, then Ozone is my place to go. It has a suite of different effects and plugins that you can apply to the mastering chain to really pump that sound up. So right now I'm applying an EQ and I'm boosting the highs and making a small dip, and then it's fed through the vintage tape emulation to add some warmth, and then I'm limiting it to max up on the loudness. So here's my track without the limiter. And here it is with the limiter. Now within Ozone, there is a bunch of other effects that you can apply into your mastering chain as well. There's the dynamics section. There's an aural exciter here, stereo imager, vintage compressor, vintage EQ, and so forth. So lots of stuff there to help you boost up your mix. And this is a great tool to master your track and get it nice and loud for DJs to play out in their sets. Now, those are my top 5 picks, but I'm going to add one more for good measure because Arteria has been a brand I've been using for a while now. So their plugins are all on sale as well. So Pigments, you've seen me use a lot. It's a very beautiful synth and you can do some really great sounds with it. And this is on sale. Not to mention their effects suite is for sale as well. And you've seen me use their Rev Intensity, which is my favorite reverb plugin right now. It's very sweet and musical reverb. And so this is a great opportunity to grab that. As well, you might want to grab Arteria's V collection, which is a really sweet collection of analog emulated VST synths. So if you want those analog sounding retro synths, then the V collection is the way to go. Alright, so now that I've given you my top 5 plugins, why don't we check out the track with all the plugins applied? Alright, so I think we have a banger in the works here. Alright, so those are my top 5 buys for Black Friday at Plugin Boutique. And as you can see, some of these plugins are plugins that I've been using for a while now. So this is a good opportunity for you guys to get them as well. So I know this only happens once a year, so make sure you choose wisely and buy plugins that you think you'll use. Other than that, good luck on Black Friday. I'll see you at the next video.